Well, President Trump has stripped the Environmental Protection Agency of its most powerful tool to regulate air pollution and greenhouse gases. The president announced Thursday that he is rolling back what is known as the endangerment finding. The Obama-era ruling determined that 6 specific greenhouse gases could be categorized as dangerous to public health. It has been the basis of the EPA's authority to create climate policy. President Trump also announced the end of regulations on greenhouse gas emissions from vehicles.
That is why, effective immediately, we're repealing the ridiculous endangerment finding and terminating all additional green emission standards imposed unnecessarily on vehicle models and engines between 2012 and 2027 and beyond. This action will save American consumers trillions of dollars and will lower the average cost of a new vehicle by close to $3,000.
That repeal will likely end up in the courts, and litigating it could take years. Critics say the changes threaten public health and accuse the president of pandering to polluters. President Trump denies that, calling the endangerment finding a scam.
It has nothing to do with public health. This was all a scam, a giant scam. This was a ripoff of the country by Obama and Biden.
With me here in Los Angeles, pollster and communication strategist Frank Luntz, who's also a senior fellow at West Point teaching the cadets there. Frank, welcome back to The Story Is. The significance of this moment.
It could not be greater in environmental policy. The public, to be clear, the public believes that climate change is real, they believe that it's man-made, and they believe it must be addressed. But to be equally clear, the public does not want to see the economy destroyed in an effort to address climate. And in fact, starting off, it should not be called climate change, because that immediately politicizes the issue. And it is not about sustainability, because that is the status quo. The public wants the environment to be cleaner, safer, and healthier, which means better.
And climate change was your term, right? Which you've expressed regret for helping to create years ago.
25 years ago. It's hard to believe. And it's probably the thing that I regret the most in my professional career, because at the time that I dealt with it, it was not clear, but it is clear now. And so what we're looking for is a common sense, balanced approach that addresses the challenge that climate raises for the world, but doesn't destroy the economy in the process.
You're the word guy. You're paid a whole lot of money by folks to tell them what words work. On these issues, these environmental, climate, pollution issues, whatever, what are the words that Democrats, environmentalists, moderate Republicans, others should use to try to convince people that may be persuadable?
Well, the best language of all is cleaner, safer, healthier, because that suggests that you're going to go beyond the status quo and you're going to do something that makes your environment a better place to live. Second thing is that something the public really believes in is that it does not want climate or the environment in general to be addressed over 10 or 20 years. This is a 100 or 200 year effort. This is not for your children, but for their children. So whatever you do needs to have an impact that's long term, not just something over a few years.
Arnold Schwarzenegger often talks about the fact that we should say terminate pollution because people don't like pollution. But when you talk about climate or climate change, people are confused on what you're talking about.
You're exactly right. And that's why the combination of climate pollution is the strongest word or phrase to use in a situation like this.
Meanwhile, let's talk about what's going on with immigration right now. It looks like we're going to have a partial government shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security about 24 hours from right now. We see the troops heading out of Minneapolis. Where is the public on this issue?
It's a good question. They support efforts to address the illegality of immigration. The public believes in tall fences and wide gates, which is come here legally, come here the right way, participate in the economy, be part of America, but the illegality of it is unacceptable. And that's the challenge right now, which is that the administration was correct in addressing this issue as strongly as they did, but incorrect in how they communicated it and how they enforced it.
Meaning some of those images that we've seen in Minnesota.
There's no reason for people to die in a protest, none at all.
And so now the Democrats are saying we're going to shut down the Department of Homeland Security, or part of it, over this issue. Is there some danger for them of them overplaying their hand?
The Republicans have been punished when the public believes that the actions don't match the rhetoric. Democrats will be punished for the same thing. Right now, both political parties are hurting. The numbers for the GOP are down from what they were over the last 6 months. And Democrats still suffer from the public scorn because Democrats don't even like what Democrats in Congress are doing. We are rejecting the political system. We are rejecting the institutions and the people who occupy it. I have the opportunity to make a presentation to governors in about a week's time. And I have to tell them that never have we seen institutions with this little credibility, trust, and confidence as we have right now. Both sides need to cut it out.
Yeah, and governors have the ability to actually lead in their own states and do executive actions as compared to the Congress members and senators. Real quickly, because we're out of time.
The public believes that governors are the people to lead. And so if a governor's watching right now, get your act together, go out in front, and lead.
And it's why you see the governors as the presidential frontrunners right now as
Exactly.
well. Frank Luntz, thank you so much. Always appreciate it. And thanks for your service to our country, teaching the folks at West Point. Appreciate that as well.
Thank you very much.
All right. World leaders are about to